Gracious. Kobe Bryant, first time he speaks since announcing in the Players Tribune he'll quit, retire at the end of the season.
I mean, I've known for a while, right? And I've always said, if anything changes, then, I'll change my mind. But, the problem became for me, it's, what does that really mean? I mean, a decision like this, you can't make that decision based on, outside circumstances. I mean, it has to be an internal decision. And finally, I just had to accept the fact that I don't want to do this anymore. And I'm okay with that. And, once I accepted that, then it became time to just let everybody know. I mean, why not? I mean, it's just, it takes a load off my shoulders and everybody else's. And I think it's just the right thing to do.
Were you emotionally drained tonight?
No, not really. I mean, it's the first time playing it back-to-back, so I was a little drained for other reasons. You know what I mean? But no, I mean, it's I honestly feel good about it. I really do. I mean, I really feel at peace with it, and excited for what's to come. Honestly.
How do you accomplish? What's the hardest part about retiring?
Honestly, I don't know. I mean, it's tough to say now. I think that question becomes a lot easier to answer when training camp comes around next year. And, I'm not there. I think that becomes a question that's a little bit easier to answer. But right now, I honestly feel really at peace with it, And I've worked so hard and continue to work really, really hard, even though I play like shit. I work really, really hard to try not to play like crap, and I just do everything I possibly can, and I feel good about that.
So you had said that you didn't want this farewell tour. Now that you've announced this, are you willing to accept it, especially starting back?
No, it's extremely uncomfortable for me. I mean, for me, it's the amount of respect that I have for the fans on the road. I honestly, if anything, should be thanking them, and I think just the showing mutual appreciation and respect for each other to me is enough. But I really can't thank the fans enough, man. I mean, it's been such a motivator for me and such a catalyst for everything that I've accomplished. So I have so much respect and love for them.
That's where you start at. You got to start in Philadelphia, too. What's that going to be like?
It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be beautiful. I mean, so much of my game was developed in Philadelphia. And, Lower Marion High School with Coach Downer and playing in the Sunny Hill League and, so many of the great coaches playing at Tustin Playground and Ardmore Playground and all these things. And just so many great memories there. And it's going to be a very, very special moment.
You talk about this season thinking that this could be it and that you wanted to see kind of out of it?
Right, that's a good way to put it. Because I really knew. I mean, I think you guys could tell. I mean, it was kind of like, this is it. But if something happened, and I don't think you make a decision that way. You really have to look inside. I mean, if it's something that, if I had a burning desire to continue to play, I would. I wouldn't be second guessing it. I wouldn't be on the fence. I feel very solid in my decision.
What let you know that this is it?
Excuse me?
What told you that this is it?
Well, I don't want to get too zen-like on you guys, but honestly, in sitting in meditation for me, my mind starts drifting. It always drifted towards basketball, always. Yeah, it doesn't do that now. It does that sometimes. It doesn't do that all the time. And to me, that was really the first indicator that, this game is not something that I can obsess over for much longer.
Kobe, did you consider retiring now as opposed to going through the whole rest of the season?
No, because there's so much beauty in the pain of this thing. And it sounds really weird to say that, but it's I appreciate the really, really tough times as much as I appreciate the great times. And it's important to go through that progression because I think that's where you really learn about the self. And so there's nothing I love more than be able to play this entire season, to go through all of these tough times, to be able to suit up and play on the road and play in these buildings for the last time. I'm looking forward to that.
What did your family, in particular your wife and your two daughters, what did they say to you when Daddy told them this was it?
Oh man, it was like they're torn, right? Because they it's like they understand the concept of this is something that I've been doing since I was 3, and it's like this is my entire life has been centered around the game of basketball. So it's like Dad's losing that passion now, right? He's not being able to do that thing that he's done forever. But at the same time, we get him around a lot more. Right, and so they're excited about that as well.
That poem that you wrote was very heartfelt. What was the process of writing that?
Honestly, it was quick. Once I went through the process of figuring out what I wanted to say and who was I saying it to, and it became extremely easy for me. And once I decided I wanted to speak to the game itself. Which sounds really weird, but I've never actually spoken to the game. It's always been to the fans or been to teammates or, things of that nature, but never actually told the game how I felt. And once I decided to write it from that perspective, then the words just came in a matter of minutes.
You talked about it's time to say goodbye. You wrote that. Any sadness in that for you?
No, beauty. There's beauty in that. I mean, it's going through the cycle. I mean, it's the cycle. It's the natural progression of growth and maturation. I mean, there's no sadness in that. I mean, I've had so many great times, right? I think I see the beauty in not being able to blow past defenders anymore. You know what I mean? I see the beauty in getting up in the morning and being in pain, and because I know all the hard work that it took to get to this point. So I'm not sad about it. I'm very appreciative of what I've had.
You talked about how you wanted to get through this year, and you're trying not to play the way you are. You have been someone we have seen, many of us from the beginning, just spit in the face of what you're supposed to do and what you do. You've done more than most people are supposed to do. You were I don't want to say overachieving because that makes it sound like you didn't have the talent, but you did so many things that no one else had done before. When you finally realized, because in your documentary you talked about walking slowly to the bathroom,
Yeah.
when you realized that you weren't able to control the situation anymore,
Yeah.
what was that like? Because that's the certain acceptance of the fact that...
No, it's great. It's great. Because I continue to push. I continue to try. You know what I mean? That never stops. You know what I mean? So it's like, guys, I mean, I weight train in the morning. I stretch 3 times a day. I go home tonight, I'll stretch again. I'll ice bath again. I'll get up in the morning, I'll weight train again before the plane, right? So, I don't quit. I keep pushing and pushing and pushing and see if I can figure this damn thing out. You know what I mean? And that's just, that's who I am. I would never just capitulate to it, right? I accept it, I understand it, and I'll try to figure out how to get around it, and I'll try my best, and I'll keep on going, man. Sí, un poquito, sí. Sí. Ahora me siento muy relajado, ¿no? Puedo jugar el campeonato con mucho más divertimento en mi corazón.
Describe por favor el momento donde tomas esta decisión de la meditación y cuando te llegó que ya es momento de anunciarlo.
Me sentaron así. Sí.
¿Por qué ahora, Tony? ¿Por qué anunciarlo?
Porque yo sé en mi corazón. Yo sé que es la decisión que quiero, es la decisión razón. Y no quiero empezarlo ahora, ¿no? Quiero jugar con toda mi fuerza, quiero jugar en Filadelfia, las otras ciudades, con mucho amor. Quiero decir a todas las ciudades gracias para todo y así me puedo divertir un poquito con el campeonato. No, triste no. Un poquito de orgullo, ¿no? Porque he trabajado muchísimo para ese 20 años. No puedo hacer más que hizo. Entonces me siento muy orgulloso de lo que pasó y soy muy feliz donde estoy ahora.
When fans came to the game tonight, they received an envelope, and in that envelope you wrote them a note. Why was that important to you, for you to give them?
Ah, man, they gotta know how much they meant to me. And how much they meant to me, and a letter doesn't do any justice, honestly. I mean, I grew up here. I mean, I don't think, it's important for them to understand how serious I take that, and why I would never, despite many offers, go someplace else. It just would not happen. I mean, this is my home, and I wanted to let them know how much they meant to me, how much I appreciate them, and even a letter can't do it justice.
Coach, you talked about before you made the decision. Was there someone that you called? There's a lot of players who've been in this kind of position before. Was there anyone, former players or coaches or anyone?
No, I mean, I've talked to several players. I've talked to, I've been fortunate enough to know, to actually be able to pick up the phone and call, a lot of my muses, and speak to them, and kind of get their perspective on what they went through. But ultimately, it's a decision that, I had to make. What do I feel? Do I want to play again, or don't I? And it's a very simple question, but it's a hard question to really look in the mirror and ask yourself. And the reality is, no, I don't. So why belabor it?
Exciting or scary or maybe a bit of both to imagine life after basketball for Kobe Bryant?
Both, but it's fantastic. It's great.
When you think of your life 1 year from now, so exactly 1 year from today, where do you see yourself?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, there's obviously things I'm extremely passionate about, and I'll go after with everything that I have and carry a lot of the lessons that I've learned through the game and into my various endeavors, and be as passionate about those things as I was about the game.
You've always said that you don't want a farewell tour, but you know it's coming. You know the gifts and the praise and all these things are going to come to you wherever you go from now on. Is it possible that the cool and calm and pro and Kobe Bryant can be breaking down to tears?
It's not going to happen on the court. It ain't going to happen there, man. But I mean, if I said, I wasn't getting a little emotional about it, I'd be lying. It's a little different when you know internally this is it, and then when you actually voice it, and now it's out there. It's a certain level of, finality to it that adds a little more, But the coolest thing is the messages that I receive from other players, right? And they say, thank you for the inspiration, thank you for the lessons, for the mentality. And those things are the things that honestly mean the most to me. And it's that respect from the peers. That you just really, there's nothing in the world that can top that.
So when you hear from those players and when you look around the league compared, what do you think the impact was on the NBA? There was when we played Detroit, and I was kind of zoned out, but we had you have the captains meeting, and you allowed 2 captains. And so, I go up there, and there's Andre Drummond, and you have the other captain, and there was another player up there, and I couldn't see because he was kind of behind Andre Drummond. And the official goes, you can't have 3, you only allowed to have 2. And you go, oh, no, I just wanted to shake his hand. I couldn't see him. He was behind Andre Drummond. I just saw his hand come from around Andre, and I shook it. But, it's, in Portland, Dame Lillard, Cullen, those guys, the James Hardens, the Kyrie Irvings, the Durants, all these players that, I speak to, and they call me frequently with questions and things of that nature. And that means more to me than anything else. And I think the impact, the mentality, the aggression, the work ethic. Well, you've seen the last couple of years, you talk a lot about the things that you've done with to prepare yourself for this point. How much is your comfort with that process influenced your comfort with where you are now?
It probably helps me to be a lot more comfortable and a lot more at peace with my decision. Because I'm not held slave to my passion. And to be honest with you, it really took a long time for me to find what it is I wanted to do. And 15 years to be exact. And I think that's a struggle for a lot of us athletes, is to figure out what comes next. And I was very fortunate enough to try to start asking those questions at a very early age, 21 years old. And it took me 15 years to try to figure it out. But it's tough, because you get caught in the cycle of, okay, what's the biggest market I can get into? How can I monetize this and monetize that? And those are absolutely the wrong questions yet to ask.
Who taught you to even ask that question? Where did you pick up? Where did you learn to do that?
I had a lot of curiosity, and I was in Milan, and I wanted to meet with Giorgio Armani and talk to him a little bit about how he built his business. And he said he started building his business at the age of 40, and I was 21. And so I said to myself, well, I'll probably play to 35, 36, whatever the case may be. He built a whole business at 40. What am I going to do with the rest of my life? What comes next? And then from that point on, I started figuring things out, trying different things, dabbling in this, dabbling into that, and try to figure out what exactly that passion is. And it wasn't as easy as basketball. It was like I was born to play basketball, and I had to really work to try to figure out what comes next. And that's really, really hard, man. Really, really hard. But that's what we have to do as athletes. That's what we have to figure out.
And do you know what comes next?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm a storyteller. I love storytelling. I love framing stories that inspire. I love educating in a very creative way. I love putting pieces of the puzzle together. And I didn't know that was there until it came time to actually make the Muse film. And I was like, oh, this is actually pretty fun. And that burning desire is there.
Would you like the last scene of your story to be the gold in Brazil in 2016? Is that still a goal of yours, to be on that team?
No. I mean, I'd be honored if that was there. It'd be fantastic to be around that group, and spend kind of the last journey with them. That being said, it's not something that I'm obsessing over.
Kobe, you're one storyteller. In your 20 years, what's the best part of your story, having won 5 championships?
The ones that we've lost, and the struggles to get there, right? Because that completes the journey, right? If you just have championships, there's no antagonist. There's no up and down. Right, it's the ugly moments that create the beauty at the end of the film, and so those are the moments that I truly appreciate.
Kobe, you won your ring with Phil. Did you talk to him, and what did he say when he was feeling that way?
He said break the season up into sections. Phil speaks. He understands. He and I get each other, and he said, just break the season up into sections. Just take it one chunk at a time, and just. And try to get through it.
You only have a couple more months left, and I'm sorry if you're already going to ask this question, but in these months with so many young teammates, what sort of lessons do you like to impart to them?
Well, I mean, it starts with the aggressiveness and that killer mentality of trying to figure things out by any means necessary, and then breaking things down into the most minute details, which is very hard to get conceptually. But I continue to try to work with them to help them figure it out. And it's not going to be the last season of doing that. I mean, I'll always be around for them and for other players around the league to help them out.
Now that you've made this decision, does your plan for the rest of the year change in any way? Your approach as far as minutes and teaching, balancing with the kids, your time?
No, I mean I've always said from when I came into camp that if I can play, I will. You know what I mean? And that's the right thing to do, man. If I can play, I absolutely will. If I can play 30 minutes, I'll play 30 minutes. If I can only play 15, I'll play 15. And just do the best I can, to try to win the ball game and help the young guys out.
Everybody seems to have their favorite Kobe Bryant moment. Do you have a favorite Kobe Bryant moment in your career?
Nothing beats getting drafted. Nothing tops that. I mean, that was just, you dream about that moment. It's just, that's the beginning of it all.
Kobe, how great, if you look back on these 19 seasons, 20 seasons, how great a life has this been, the community has served, and how would you like to be remembered as a leader?
I mean, I just, the fact that I'm talked about in the company with Magic and, you know, Cap, and you know, I've made it. That's enough for me, man. I was a Laker diehard growing up. You know what I mean? So, you know, that's good enough for me. And I've just been extremely fortunate. I mean, how many kids can say growing up, you know, that, you know, you turn pro, you're going to play for your favorite team in the world and spend your entire career there? I mean, it's been a dream.
What's success for you for the rest of the season?
What success?
What would
Well, let's start by winning the next game. And it's really taking it game by game, honestly. And really following Phil's advice, which is just breaking the season up into sections and, you know, playing the game that's in front of you, trying to win that, and then move on to the next one and see if we can get better.
Is there a mix of that with the young players versus now what your outlook is for yourself and having this announcement? Is part of that switch?
No, I mean, it's the same old thing. I mean, you just work extremely hard, you come out and try to play better the next game than we did the game before, you know, and continue to try to teach, continue to try to help, and try to improve my own play, and just, I mean, you know, just trying like crazy to get better. He's actually one of the first people that I told over the summer. And, you know, we've been in frequent contact.
What exactly did you tell him?
This is it. And how the hell did you know it was it for you, you know, sort of thing. And, you know, we had some laughs, you know, back and forth about it. But the important thing for him is to just enjoy it, no matter what. Just enjoy it. You don't let anybody take that away from you, no matter what happens, you know, good or bad. And enjoy it, man.
When did you make this decision? Obviously, it wasn't today. You had to get those cards printed for the fans. It took a minute.
Oh, well, you know, it's pretty quick. It's like, you know, I called the team and I said, this is what I'm doing. Okay, when? I'm like, well, like a couple days. What? You know, and then we put the wheels in motion pretty quickly. Pretty much.
In passato hai detto che finito con l'NBA ti sarebbe piaciuto giocare in Italia, una speranza.
No, non posso.
Cosa ha significato l'Italia?
No, mi ha significato tutto per me, però il mio corpo non posso. Mi piacerebbe, però non posso.
Are you surprised at all that you sort of think to embrace failures in the sort of the failures of your body, the failures, struggles before whatever it is?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. It's, you know, I've learned that you gotta roll with things. You can't resist things. You have to self-assess, and I'm pretty brutal about self-assessment, and then trying to get better and doing all you can to get better, and then you roll with whatever happens, continually pursuing improvement, you know, and I'm fine with that. I mean, look, I can see, I mean, I can look myself in the mirror, man. I've tried and worked extremely hard, you know, since I was a young kid, and so that's why I feel extremely confident. I mean, I left no stone unturned, man.
I'm sure you never thought you'd ever play players. You know, you got to be
Yeah.
some of the other guys we thought years away.
Right.
Now they're just sitting. I mean, what is it like to be the older guys and guys who are like 17, 19, 20 on this roster? You feel out of place in a sense?
I feel like their grandfather. I mean, I'm not like the older guy. Like I'm the like triple OG. You know what I'm saying? Like LeBron and them, they're the old guys now, and I'm way older than them, right? So they're vets. I'm like a triple vet, you know. And it's fun, honestly. I remember playing Portland. We were playing Portland here. A kid from the bench said something to me. He said, hey, you know, we're going to beat you guys tonight. I looked at him. I said, you know, I got one rule. If you weren't born when I started playing, you can't talk trash. It's a simple rule. And he just looked at, yes, sir. Yes, sir. No argument. You got it, man. Appreciate you guys, man. Thank you.
Pretty revealing. It was very, and didn't seem totally comfortable with that, didn't he?
No, I want to hear someone ask about the emotion. I thought the eyes were getting wet.
Yeah.
I thought he was sad about it.
And again, late night cable, you heard a curse word. It's okay. We're going to leave that out for the re-airs.
Say poopy next time.
Yeah, we'll be in good shape. We're back with more Sports Center.
Okay.
Right after this.
You are watching